welcome back to OmniFoot TV. This is your host Omar speaking, and today I'm preparing a preview for each of the knockout games we have at hand. Denmark face Wales, Italy face Austria, and this video is about the Denmark-Wales game. Now, to provide context, both Denmark and Wales have not faced off in a major competition before. However, Denmark have beaten Wales in their last 3 outings. The game is being held at the Johan Cruyff Arena. I actually read that the Wales fans will struggle to travel due to restrictions and that the Danes will have a lot more fan presence, so that's going to be huge for them. The Welsh have lost 3 games, or is it their last 2? Sorry. They've lost their last 2 games at the Johan Cruyff Arena in Amsterdam against the Netherlands, one in 88 and the other in 2014. And they have lost their last 2 competitive games out of 16 in total. Excuse me, something's wrong with the microphone. Now, this is Denmark's first appearance at the later stages of this tournament since 2004, so they'll be looking to really do some damage to the Welsh. Here's the thing. I actually, in my previews, in my group previews, if you've watched, I stated that Robert Page and Kasper Hjulmand were my 2 question marks going into the tournament for each group, respectively. And both of these men have proven me wrong. I didn't say they wouldn't go far. I just thought that they'd either do really well or really horribly. And they've done very well. You know, looking at Denmark's circumstances especially, it's great to have seen Hjulmand's camaraderie engulf this squad, despite the circumstances. And you could tell how relatable that was before the ending of the game against Russia, when he was, smiling and laughing with his players on the touchline. And then at the end of the game, when they were all huddled up and one of the staff members was checking his phone to see if the results from the other game would allow them to go through, and their celebrations were just, it was a fairy tale. That game overall was a fairy tale. It was a brilliant game from start to finish. You knew you had something special going on as soon as that first goal was hit. And they've got a good crop of players capable of making that sort of damage. We saw that. And here's the thing about the Welsh. They were the team that I think everyone counted out in their group, primarily. Everyone thought that it would be between Wales and Turkey for second place. Mainly because, Wales had something in there. They still had something in the tank. And the Turks just looked really good on paper. Everyone gave them the dark horse status. And I did from their group as well. Because, let's face it, if you had looked at their results beforehand, you would have been convinced. But that was just, it's in the past now. I'm honestly very interested to see how this game is going to go about. Because, primarily, and I'll put them up in points. Robert Page's tactical setup of this Welsh national team has impressed me greatly. His decision-making has impressed me greatly, from his substitutions to his starting 11 to everything else in between. There's a sense of organization. There's a bite to this team. There's a lot of just confidence. Confidence is the word here. Their second game in the group proved it. Their third game against Italy, even when they went down to 10 men, was still proof of it. They posed the most danger to the Italians than any other side in the group. And that is worth noting. They almost did steal the game, by the way. They had a couple of chances worthy of winning them a draw, but it just wasn't to be. In regards to Denmark, you would have expected them to completely cave after what happened to Eriksen, but they didn't. Credit to them. It's also apparent that Hjulmand has good man management skills. For him to get all that out of the players at a crucial point in the tournament, that was basically a put up or shut up moment for them against Russia, that's proof of the man's man management skills. Because you don't bounce back after such an occurrence in such a way if you don't have character. And that credit goes to Hjulmand and the players for responding to him. It's credit given where it's due, basically. I'd like to also point out that the Danes have a good amount of youth in their squad as well. I look at Damsgaard, for example, and I feel as though that boy could really hype up a storm, because that's what he's been doing ever since coming in to basically replace Eriksson in the setup. I really like the kid. Plays for Sampdoria. I'd advise you to look him up. And then in regards to Wales, you have players who didn't really show up for their clubs do really well in this tournament. Ramsey, Bale, Dan James, all three of them. And then you have Danny Ward in goal, who hadn't really played a proper competitive game in goal for a club for a long time, a couple of years. You just have to look at Page and his selection choices and think, geez, this man knows exactly what he wants. He's confident. He's a stoic. You could tell by his demeanor on the touchline. I was very impressed with him. And I think both managers are going to come into this game with the right mentality, with the right setup. Although I rate Page's tactical know-how above Hjulmand's. But then again, Denmark also have that fighting spirit. Wales do as well. But in regards to Denmark, it's just due to their circumstances, it's more apparent. It's more obvious. In regards to who I think will win, I think both sides would deserve to win and go through. If either one of them, and I'm saying that for Wales and Denmark, for either one that does win it in the end. Because here's the thing about this tournament. It has shown us and it has proven that it's extremely difficult to predict a game. It is extremely difficult to predict results. This tournament has provided more surprises than I think we expected. More drama at the final group games than we thought. And in regards to my emotional bias, I would want Denmark to go through. But in regards to the, footballing know-how that I've seen that presents itself as a difference between both teams, I would go for Wales. Now, I would assume that the team with the mindset and the more organized setup would win it. That on paper to me looks to be Wales. But if that fighting spirit is enough to get Denmark through, anything can happen. I'm having a hard time predicting this game. But I'll say that if Denmark, come into this game with the same level of momentum, both teams will be willing to keep up the momentum that they have had. But I'm going to go with Denmark. Denmark should win this. Not cleanly, but they should win this. And I'll end the video there. Thank you all for tuning in. I had to shoot this video twice. I really appreciate the fact that you guys have been supporting the channel, supporting us on social media. The links to all of our social media accounts are in the description below, by the way, if you want to follow us on either Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Facebook's for our Arabic content. And, I'll see you later with the Austria-Italy preview. Cheers, everyone, and thank you for watching.